What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, the two new upcoming physical infrastructure and stimulus packages, as well as what is going on in the world today. President Biden said some interesting things, actually, some really good things about the next stimulus package. We have a new bill for $4,200 in stimulus money for families that we're going to go over in this video, as well as several other stimulus related items. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new updates on the upcoming fourth round of stimulus, which includes a fourth stimulus check, as Democrats are actually pushing for a monthly stimulus check to be included in this next infrastructure slash stimulus packages, as well as there's about 15 different stimulus items that could be in this next package, including Social Security raises, Medicare raises and expansions, 2 years of free college. Yeah, that's an absolute game changer. 2 years of free preschool, monthly payments to children, and more student loan debt forgiveness. Yeah, there's there's an absolute lot out there on the block right now, and probably 50 to 75% of these items are going to make it into the next stimulus package that is being negotiated on right now, called the American Families Plan. Also, don't forget to hit the like button for us, and here we go. Senators Elizabeth Warren and Senator Bernie Sanders have really been kind of the two most outspoken and most aggressive people pushing for more stimulus for the people right now. We actually have some Republicans coming on board for more stimulus items, as we're going to talk about here in a moment, which is good to see some bipartisanship here. But the leaders of the stimulus movement right now, I'd really have to say, are Senator Bernie Sanders and Senator Elizabeth Warren. And really, it's not just stimulus checks that they're working on. As you know, Senator Elizabeth Warren is the co-author of the $2,000 per month stimulus bill, which is a new version of the bill in the Senate from Senators Ed Markey and Elizabeth Warren are the co-sponsor, pushing for President Biden to include $2,000 monthly stimulus checks in this next stimulus package, the American Families Plan, that would go until the pandemic is over. These monthly checks would. So think at least 6 months. But this bill is actually an updated version of the bill that originally came from Senators Bernie Sanders, Ed Markey, and Vice President Kamala Harris from last year, that pushed for $2,000 a month also until the pandemic is over. Well, these two have kind of gained a lot of additional power, I guess I'll say, for maybe lack of a better word. As we know now, Kamala Harris, who used to be Senator Kamala Harris, is now Vice President Harris. And Senator Bernie Sanders is now the Senate Budget Chairman, who is the person in charge of the reconciliation process. That's important for several different reasons. Number one, the reconciliation process is how the Democrats passed the third stimulus check package, which basically meant they only needed 50 to 51 votes in the Senate to pass that third package, which is how the Democrats did it. Remember, we didn't get a single Republican to vote yes on the third stimulus check package. Senator Bernie Sanders is the one who spearheaded that movement in the Senate because he's the Senate Budget Chairman. He's the person in charge of the budgetary reconciliation process. And what happened is that we had a 50-50 tie vote in the Senate, and the vice president, who is Kamala Harris, was the tiebreaker vote. In fact, Vice President Kamala Harris has been the tiebreaker vote on probably somewhere around 6 to 12 different bills. As you know, they had some kind of pre-bills that they had to pass, the reconciliation motions on the front half of the third stimulus check package. We also had several other confirmations for President Biden's cabinet. And needless to say, they have been pretty busy. But we'll talk about Bernie Sanders later. But Senator Elizabeth Warren as well, they're focused on several different stimulus items, or money, or items that might put money in your pocket, or at least some people's pockets. Of course, all these packages don't always affect every single person, but when you add them all together, there's a lot of them. Here's a new package or a new item that will possibly put money into people's pockets that's kind of come out of nowhere. Senator Elizabeth Warren tweets Trump's team of corporate lawyers wrote an awful rule to let big companies misclassify their employees as independent contractors to cheat them out of labor protections. Again, this is her words. This is great news from Senator Marty Walsh. More workers can now fight for the pay they deserve. And she links to a Washington Post article that says the Labor Department is rescinding a rule that made it harder for gig and contract workers to argue that they were entitled to minimum wage and overtime protections, part of a push to undo Trump era decisions that favored businesses and employers. The withdrawal of the independent contractor rule, which limited the abilities of workers to argue that they were misclassified as contractors when they should have been employees, will be published in the Federal Register today and become effective on Thursday. Companies have increased the use of contractors in recent decades, in part to lower labor costs. Think of companies like Uber and Lyft that don't pay their employees hourly wages, and they only get basically tips or gig wages from each gig they do. And it's been battled in court that they should be considered employees and should make at least the minimum wage plus their tip. And this is now going to completely possibly change the game going forward. Labor advocates say that many of these workers are misclassified and should be counted as employees. The Labor Department has the power now to investigate these cases and rectify violations when they are found. Quote, by withdrawing the independent contractor rule, we will help preserve essential worker rights and stop the erosion of worker protections that would have occurred had the rule gone into effect. Companies such as Uber and Lyft, coincidentally, I just mentioned them, typically classify the workforce their apps rely on as independent contractors, while aggressively pushing back against state officials. Courts and Democratic lawmakers who say that their workers are misclassified. The Labor Department could find that many gig workers are misclassified, opening up this debate on a national scale. This comes as dozens of reports over the years, like this one, say Uber drivers often make below minimum wage, and some drivers actually end up losing money after insurance, maintenance, and other costs, such as gas, according to a study raising concerns over labor standards. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. This could be a complete game changer. Do you think companies such as Uber and Lyft should be able to classify their employees, even though they're not called employees, should they be able to classify them as independent contractors and not have to pay them any hourly wage at all, and only make a percentage of the gigs or the tips for each run they do? Let me know your thoughts, as this could be changing in a major national event. Next up, Republican Senator Mitt Romney joins Republican Senator Josh Hawley in being, as far as I know, the only two Republicans to support more stimulus going out to the people. Mitt Romney actually says that he favors monthly cash payments for families over President Biden's proposed federal child care program. And Senator Mitt Romney has now proposed the new Family Security Act, which streamlines child benefit into a monthly cash benefit and helps slash the child poverty rate. The Family Security Act will provide a monthly cash benefit or monthly cash check, monthly cash payment for families amounting to $350 a month for each young child and $250 a month for each school-aged child. Mitt Romney says that doing this program would cut child poverty by up to 1/3 in America. And this is basically a new beefed up program of the child tax credits, because instead of $300 per month for children under the age of 6, it would be $350 a month, which would be $4,200 per year instead of $3,600 per year. The $250 a month would stay the same for children ages 6 through 17. So we're even getting Republicans on board for increased child tax credits. In fact, now Mitt Romney and Republican Senator Josh Hawley have both come out with their own proposals for actually more than the President Biden's plan for $3,000 to $3,600 for children with these monthly payments that are going to start in July. And the Democrats are looking to extend that all the way to the year 2025 or larger. Both Mitt Romney and Josh Hawley's plans are actually more money than the Democrats, with Mitt Romney's plan now of $4,200 for children under the age of 6, $3,000, which is the same for children ages 6 through 17. And Josh Hawley's plan is actually $500 a month for children with one parent. And if you have two parents or married filing jointly, it would be $1,000 per month or $12,000 per year for basically couples with children. So we're now starting to see bipartisan support for monthly stimulus checks going to parents and their children. And honestly, this is, if you don't have children, this is still a good movement. You still want to see this happen because the more people that push for monthly stimulus checks, the more we will see the push for a fourth stimulus check, which is, as we discussed earlier, that $2,000 per month bill. There's another bill in the House that's a one-time $2,000 stimulus check, and then $1,000 monthly payments that would go for a year after the pandemic is declared over. That's a straight up old fourth stimulus check or monthly stimulus check. So that would have the same qualifications, very likely, as the third stimulus check. So it wouldn't be just for children and parents with children. We know that the checks obviously go to the parents, they don't go to the child. They don't send checks to 5-year-olds. Um, but honestly, these child tax credits, if you have children, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread because these are literally $3,000 to $3,600 or possibly even more per year. So they're going to pay this out on monthly stimulus payments of $250 to $300 per month. This is already passed for at least 1 year from the third stimulus check package and goes into effect starting in July with those monthly payments. And they likely could continue on for many, many years. And the government says that this is a form of child support from the government, $250 to $300 a month, which isn't going to make anybody rich, but it is going to help out a lot. If you have two children and you're going to get $500 to $600 a month, for example. That's not even going to pay your rent, but it is sure going to help out a lot as opposed to $0 a month. But kind of even the more important issue is this kind of opens the door saying, hey, these monthly stimulus checks for children are working so well that we really should do a monthly stimulus check for the fourth stimulus check as well, as we have almost 100 Democrats already pushing for the fourth stimulus check to be a monthly stimulus check. President Biden also said some very interesting things today in a long speech. I forgot where he was, but he's touring the country right now and basically shoring up support for these next two packages. He said that he'd be willing to raise the corporate tax rate. Remember, President Biden wants to raise it to 28%. However, it used to be 35% before the Trump tax cuts, and former President Donald Trump lowered it from 35% all the way down to 21%. Well, President Biden wants to raise the corporate tax rate back up to 28%. He says the corporations should pay their fair share. He says that there's 55 corporations out of the top Fortune 500 that pay $0 in federal income tax. And I don't know if raising the corporate tax rate would really be the best way to do it. I think a better way to do it would be to introduce a minimum tax where corporations that say make over $1 billion would have to pay a 15 or 20% minimum tax. That's really what I think they should need to do. You have corporations like Amazon that make $11.2 billion in profits in a year and pay $0 in tax. So if they're already paying $0 in tax from tax loopholes and tax rebates and government rebates they actually get and foreign tax credits, then raising that tax rate might not even affect those companies, right? What they need to do is put a minimum tax rate and maybe make it for companies only making over $1 billion. That's billion with a B, like Mitch with a M or B. But yeah, that would make these companies that are making billions and billions of dollars at least pay some type of taxes, which we can use for all these different programs that they want to input. Well, President Biden, first of all, let me go back a little bit. President Biden has been getting some pushback on raising the corporate tax rate to 28%. We've had Senator Joe Manchin say he's not willing to go to 28%, but he is willing to go to 25%. Seems like he's nitpicking a little bit there. But we also have some other Democrats that are kind of saying the same thing too. Well, today, President Biden said that he is willing to raise the corporate tax rate from anywhere between 21 to 28%. This is a big difference from his hardline stance of 28% is what I want. So now he's basically saying that he's willing to negotiate on that, which pretty much means that we're going to be able to make a deal on that point. It's not going to hold up the package, and it won't prevent us from getting the next stimulus package passed. So that was kind of like one of the really big contention points. And really now all that's left is the negotiations of what's going to be in the bill. And I think that if we get the corporate tax rate, basically, which is how they're going to pay for a lot of these programs out of the way, President Biden is now saying that he's willing to do somewhere of a raise between 21 and 28, say 25%. He'll be able to get all the support that he needs for that and will be willing to pass or able to pass this next package, which is really good news because we don't need hurdles and roadblocks on people, taking a hard stance. We're going to need some negotiations to get these next packages done, even if they do it through the reconciliation process, which will mean that they'll only have to negotiate between the Democratic Party. That's how they passed the third stimulus check package. That's how they're likely going to pass this package. So all they really need to do is to negotiate amongst themselves, amongst the Democrats, which means they can put in as many stimulus checks in there. They can put a fourth stimulus check in there of a single check. They can put monthly checks in there. They're probably going to extend the child tax credit monthly checks to at least 2025 as well. So if you have children, that's absolutely amazing news. But as you know, we have about 15 different stimulus items that are being negotiated on if they're going to be in this next package, how much they're going to be in this package, what's going to make it, what's not. We have the Social Security increases. We have the Medicare increases and expansions. We have 2 years of free college. 2 years of free preschool being negotiated right now that came from President Biden himself. Monthly checks for the children, and then also the fourth stimulus check monthly. There's so many different things that they're negotiating on right now for this next stimulus package. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. And join our family of subscribers here, our extended family. As we're one big family here, we look out for each other, and I bring you all the news about all the different packages which may affect you, your friends, or your family members. You can also share this video down below. There's a share button down there, which you can share on Facebook or social media or Twitter to let your friends or email them or message them and let your friends and family know, because I'll keep you up to date on all these different stimulus packages coming out in the near future. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on the Amazon FBA platform, where you can sell physical products, but Amazon does the majority of the work for you. They do the shipping and the packing and the selling for you, and I teach people how to do that. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.